Welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a financial mediator and business valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we're with Nolan Bradbury. He's located in Seattle, Washington, and the founder of Bradfield Accounting and Advisory. He has 2 decades of experience and offers clear and practical financial advice to business owners. What are the first steps a business owner should take to clean up their financial situation before sale?
I think this is an important thing to understand is that as when you start in and you start the process, you have a PSA, maybe you have a letter of intent in place, and the due diligence process begins, right? I think as business owners, we tend to think about it from the perspective of, oh, here's where I'm at, this is where I'm going. That's what they're really interested in, right? They're acquiring me for the opportunity that I possess or the what I could be down the road. And that is true, but we tend to underestimate the importance of the last few years worth of history that has gotten you to this point to actually substantiate what you're projecting is going to happen going forward. So that's why that sort of multi-year runway is important. So if the first thing they're going to ask for in the due diligence project or process is, hey, give me the last 3 years worth of tax returns and the last 3 years worth of financials, and what you give them is garbage, well, that's a really bad first impression. And it sort of undermines, again, what you've presented to them as the real viability of what they're buying. And so what you need to start with is really taking shape of what do I have? What have I done or not done? Where are the skeletons hidden? What have I maybe kicked the can on from a compliance perspective? I would say the 2 places we see most often hold up or hinder the exit process are inaccurate financials, meaning that what you had in the past does not actually jive. And we can talk a little bit more about what that really means in more detail, but also 2, unknown liabilities. So meaning that you haven't necessarily been in full compliance, and that's both at a federal and state level. It actually tends to happen more at a state level. As businesses grow and scale, it happens very quickly, and staying on top of state and city and local requirements is not always on the forefront of everyone's mind as they're making more money. And then you get to an exit and suddenly all these things come to a head. And you're the buyer, you don't want to necessarily be absorbing a bunch of unknown liabilities that are sitting out there. So those are the types of things that we need to start by assessing where do we need to triage? What do we have to focus on? Obviously, if we have more time, it's not as big of a rush, but in the situation you described, it becomes very important to sort of get on top of that very quickly and take shape and take accountability of what is the real exposure here? How do we minimize it? And how do we do that quickly?